up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 58, UFC Vegas 73, Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill. I am joined over here by my co-host, Timothy Troiano. What is up, Timothy? Outside of burning your hand, are you okay? And are you looking forward to this card?
All good, man. All good. Hand is good. We're alive. No problems.
Guys, cheers to everybody. I'm drinking again. I'm halfway through my bottle and probably a good day again. Let me go over to my chat. First of all, always want to shout out my chat. One of the best chats out there, if not the best. Bob Spigerkermans. Sorry if I messed that up. Spigerkermans?
I just go Spikerman.
Spikermans. Yeah, let's fucking go, my man. MMA Propaholic. What is up, my man? Mushroom MMA is in the house. What is up? One more sleep. Yes, sir. Daz. DFS by the numbers. What is up, Brady? Thank you for popping in. Mike Z, what's up? Dustin Finley. Rob Lawrence. Bufo on the beat is ready to fucking rock and roll. Uncle Weezy, we are going to shave some asses today, Mr. Uncle Weezy's in the house. Lou Betcher is also here. He's looking for what? Plus 9,000 of what? Round 3 bucket. Now you're going off the rails there with that one. I can't sign off on that one. Saint Steven, what is up? Double Flush in the house. Dixon Cider, Grateful Dude. Who else do we have here? Adam Whitehead, Joshua Frick. Oh my God, Patrick Addicted to Combat. What is up, my man? Landon Warner, 916 Dave, Stephen Cunningham, Tyrese Esteep. We have a lot of new people in here. Tyler Waits, Die Hard MMA Podcast. What is up, my friend? Thank you for joining Capping Service and Mr. D. 47 of you already in here. Tim, you think we should start it?
Let's get it going. Let's get it cooking.
All right. First fight of the night. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 16-6 Takashi Saro versus the 10-4 Themba Goremba. What do you got here for your Lambo play, Tim?
So I don't know. I'm watching the tape on these guys, and they both are really not good, in my opinion. So it's just a pretty low-level fight all in all. I don't know that either one of these guys is UFC level, but in my opinion, I know Sato isn't UFC level, and I don't know that Goremba isn't. So I think that Goremba's performance against AJ Fletcher is both good and bad. The fact that he got him down as easily as he did shows his athleticism and strength. AJ's not an easy dude to just get down and get into positions like he did. Also got his back. So I don't know. I think the situation, I just keep looking at it. I'm like, man, this is going to be the classic Gunnar Nelson didn't sub Sato, but Goremba does. For a lot of different reasons. I just think that the regressions there, Sato shows that he just makes mistakes getting taken down and makes mistakes giving up his back. Just so many mistakes grappling. So I'm going to go with the fact that I think that Goremba, especially early, Sato's not going to throw a lot of violence and rage at him. He's going to give him opportunities to close distance, and in the smaller cage, he's going to have opportunities to get him down. So I think it's going to be a sub 1, sub 2. I'll play it, safer on the sub play, and then just if you want to take shots in the sub 1, sub 2 for Goremba, I think it happens earlier rather than late.
Yeah, I was pretty adamant on this one earlier in the week. I bet it pretty big. I'm still pretty adamant on it. I honestly like the Themba Goremba side. I think there's a lot of things that I like as far as what I've seen from this guy. First off, I think he looked pretty good in his UFC debut. Against the guy in AJ Fletcher, yeah, he's not a world beater, but he is a decent grappler. He's a good scrambler. He's very strong. He's built like a tank. And Themba had very good success with takedowns against this guy. He double-legged him multiple times, got his back twice, Tim. The problem is he made mistakes and he fell off once and then he got kind of reversed the other time, right? If he doesn't make those mistakes, honestly, we could be singing a different tune here with Themba. He might have won that fight, but he makes mistakes. It's his first UFC fight. It's understandable that you make mistakes. But what I did see that I liked is the double leg takedowns, the quickness that he shoots with, man. His shots are very, very fast for a big, long, lengthy guy. And they're really quick, and he gets on the hips really quick and gets his guys down, Like I said, AJ Fletcher is not like a slouch of a grappler. And now he's facing, to be honest, Takashi Saro, a guy that I think he is kind of a slouch of a grappler. Like I think Themba can get him down pretty easily, man, and probably do the same thing, get his back. And I think the scrambling ability of Saro is nowhere near AJ Fletcher's. And I think Fletcher got out of those positions just because, one, Themba made a mistake, but two, Fletcher's just pretty decent on the ground, right? And he's strong. So the thing here is, like, even on the feet, Saro doesn't deal well with kicks in all. And I'm not talking only battle fight. In almost all of his fights against Baeza, he wasn't seeing the kicks well. He doesn't see those high kicks well. Baeza landed some. And Themba throws a lot of kicks. He likes to throw the kicks. And then subsequently he will shoot and try to get the fight to the ground, I'm pretty sure. The longer guy, the guy that recently went to MMA Masters and is, it's by far the best training he's ever had in his life with Colby and them. So I'm sure they're going to be working on wrestling over there even more now. Maybe honing his skills a little more in the wrestling, in the grappling, in the control grappling, and not getting out of position. The other thing is, when I look at Saro's Instagram, and I mentioned this on Spaces, if you guys saw my Spaces, but 10 weeks out, he started wearing a knee brace on his right knee, all the way almost up until the fight. And I went back so far, like years back. I'm like, maybe he just wears the knee brace because he just wears the knee brace. I went all the way back, no knee brace whatsoever, ever. And then he's just started wearing it recently. So whether his right knee is kind of like, I'm not saying it's torn or anything, but it's kind of a red flag when you've never worn a knee brace. And now all of a sudden, every time you're training, you're wearing that right knee brace. So that's another thing to look at. I just, Saro has 2 wins in the UFC against 2 of the chinniest guys ever in the UFC, Jason Witt and Ben Saunders. Those guys are literally the chinniest guys in the UFC. So, Saro does have, like, the good thing with him is he does have a good one too. His straight left does have power on it. I could see a world where he clips Themba. It's possible because Themba is kind of green on the feet as well. He's not very good. But I think when the fight gets to the ground, like, he's long, he has these long limbs. I think if he gets the back, there is potential he can get a sub. Like, I understand people are saying, oh, this guy didn't sub him, Gunnar Nelson. Why should he? I mentioned this. Listen, Bilal Muhammad has 1 fucking sub in his career in however many wins that he has, and that's against this guy. Miguel Baeza, 11 wins or 10 wins, 1 sub against this guy. It's not by accident, dude. Like, I don't care what people think. Like, in that Gunnar Nelson fight, he was just not trying, dude. He just tried to survive. That was it. He wasn't trying to get up. He wasn't trying to do anything but survive. So,
as well as the Gunnar didn't ground and pound at all. He did nothing striking wise.
Yeah,
like, he normally that's what he does. Like, that was what was so shocking.
Yeah, he was just hunting for subs.
Yeah, like the last fight that Gunnar fought, he went the opposite. He went ground and pound, instant took the neck.
Into a sub, yeah.
Instantly changed it. It was like,
yeah, I mean, the sub prop, like, I got 475 and I love that number early, but it's down to 290 and we have to give a Lambo play. I'm just going to give the straight up sub. I think it could happen any round, to be honest, 1, 2, or 3. So I'm just gonna go sub plus 290 for Themba Goremba here. I like his side. He's not the most talented guy, but I think it's about matchups, man. And this matchup here, I think the UFC is kind of helping. And that's another thing. In his interview, I watched this 1-hour interview with this guy, and he was stating how the UFC in this very first fight gave him Fletcher and told him, hey, we want you to win. Like, they were kind of telling him, hey, this is a guy that you should beat. And he goes out and loses. The thing is, look at the fucking opponent they just gave him, man. Saro, a guy that doesn't have really good takedown defense, is not good on the ground. Like, UFC's probably trying to get this guy a win. He's from Africa. They want to tap into that market. I mean, a lot of things make sense, and I like him in this spot here. What is up, Rips and Picks? My man, Chicken Dinner, what's up, buddy? Frank Vitoli is here. Saro gets a takedown faster.
He gets
taken down faster than a hooker's pennies. Holy shit, I thought I was drinking. Southpaw's in the house. Yes, Southpaw is in the house. Big Steve says, Themba getting caught cold of a naked leg kick. It's possible. It's possible he gets caught. I don't think so, but we'll see. I think he shoots and double legs this guy pretty early. Moving on. Fight number 2. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 9-4 Victoria Leonardo versus the 14-5-1 Natalia Silva. I'm going to go kind of big here, Tim. I'm going to go KO2 Silva at plus 1,200 and KO3 Silva plus 2,000. So two basic reasons for that. I like these plays. One, Natalia Silva has a bunch of submissions in her career, right? Like, most of her wins are by sub, right? But that was pre-UFC when her striking was absolute dog shit. Dude, her striking was horrific pre-UFC. She was terrible. She comes back 2.5 years later, dude, and her striking looks really fucking good, man. Like, Jazz Davicius fight, I mean, kicks, punches, combinations, everything looks really good, man. And I was kind of impressed. I'm like, what the hell? This is not the girl I watched on tape. She comes out against Bleda, same thing. Fucking great striking again, you know. And her takedown defense is good, you know. On the other side, Victoria Leonardo, like, she's going to try to grapple here. Like, if she's standing, she's going to absolutely get pieced apart here. She's going to try to grapple. She's going to try to get the fight to the ground. I don't know if she's going to have success, to be honest. And the one thing I've noticed with Leonardo is she tries to push grappling early, right? Whether she does or doesn't have success, she slows down pretty big in round 2 and round 3, man. And when she gets hit in those rounds, the shots are just affecting her so much more than round 1. And honestly, Gatto fight, same thing. Fiore, same thing. It's like she doesn't want anything to do with the shots anymore. And I feel like it's the same shit here that's going to happen, dude. I think she's going to try to go for those takedowns early. I'm not even sure she's going to get a single takedown. Maybe one. And come round 2, round 3, man, I think she just gets KO'd here. Most likely round 2, in my opinion. But 1,200, 2,000, round 2, round 3 KO. I really like that spot. And I love Silva in this spot here. She's a minus 1,000, so that doesn't mean much. But what do you like here?
I'm leaning the same route. I'm just going to go safer, go round 2, round 3. So, yeah, I don't disagree with your take at all. I think that I would lean, like, I just think I would lean KO in general over sub, just because where I don't think that she's going to I don't think that Silva's necessarily going to be going for takedowns herself. And I don't necessarily know that Leonardo's going to be successful getting her down. So, like, maybe she grabs like a ghillie or something like that when she's like trying to cage push or something. So I don't, like you're saying, I don't see the submission as much, but after last week with calling round 2, round 3 on the first fight and it not playing sub on this, you know, let's just go safer. You know?
Yeah. Safer is always better. And I recommend round 2, round 3. I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to go big here. I do have a sprinkle of round 2. Like, you know how I'll put the round 2, round 3, and then kind of go extra on KO 2, 3. Because
I
think she knocks her out. She's just looking for hands a lot more, dude. Like she's a lot more comfortable on the feet. She's not looking to grapple at all. And
she could break her arm again. Like, I honestly, like, the defense from Victoria Leonardo on like dealing with kicks is like she just puts her arms up and like that's how she got TKO'd and won, and she broke her arm. Like, it's always the same thing. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if that shit happens again. Like, all you have to do is throw a tree trunk leg at that, and it's gonna break your arm. Like, very, very often you're gonna lose.
You know what's funny is even against Bohm, she was having so much trouble getting the fight to the ground, dude.
Yeah, I just really don't see her getting her to the ground. So I like the KO prop. If you're like taking a small shot at like KO or sub in this situation, I like the KO actually a lot.
Yeah. How many people we got here? Oh, almost 89 people right now. And how many likes do we have? Because Nick is right. Can you please hit that like button? I would really appreciate it. It would do us a good service. Leonardo, you hosting Twitter, always hosting Twitter Spaces. We're going to have live Twitter Spaces for the fight card. Tim. Oh, Tim is gone. Holy fuck. He's got that. Why is it so dark by you, Tim? What's going on there?
No, I got to get the lighting. I just turned the lights off today.
All right. We'll move on. Fight number 3. It's in the lightweight division. It is the 11-3-1 Chase Hooper versus the 6-1 Nick Fiore. This is the Twitter matchup of the week where people are going back and forth. What do you got here, Tim, for your Lambo play?
All right. You know how like in political stances, you get the guys that like burn themselves alive in the street? I am going to burn myself alive in the street right now. And I talked to some people about this. I'm not going to comment on this fight this week. I'm just going to pass. I'm just not taking a huge stance on this fight.
Well, hold on. There's no passing in Lambo. None whatsoever. So you better give a play here. There's no passing, Tim.
I wanted to pass so hard, man. I want to pass.
Not a one pass type of deal.
Oh, fuck, dude. All right. If you're forcing me as like,
hey, there's a gun to your head, Tim.
I really, dude, I'm telling you, I told Sean that I was going to pass on Twitter Spaces, and I told I had people DMing me what I thought on this fight, and I go, dude, I'm not going to talk about this fight. I don't even want to talk about this.
There's no passing. I want people to flood your DMs after you make this play. There's no passing whatsoever.
All right, here's the way this goes in my mind. I feel like this fight is like there's so many different ways that you could be confident on a side. I understand people picking their side. So it's a really super close line. So I get everybody wanting it to like be super confident on a take on this side. I am not super confident in a take because I don't have enough information on Fiore, and the information that I have on Chase is based upon a certain stylistic fight. And I have no idea if Fiore is going to do that fight. And I actually lean that he's not going to do that fight. So like, in my opinion, it's like, is Fiore going to come out and just like counter grapple, be able to stay in a small cage and not and be able to like strike and keep, distance? And it's not, I just don't see that happening. Like, that's the fight where like literally anybody in the UFC could beat Chase Hooper if they were doing that fight. Like, so I get like the super confident takes on Fiore being like, okay, he's bigger. Chase is coming up weight. He's a noodle. He hasn't been physical in the weight class down. I get all the takes, like, but the problem with me is like, if this fight hits the ground at any moment, that's where Chase is now like, he can sweep. He can just become a tarantula. And like, that's where I don't think that it's like, I don't know enough about Fiore to say if he gets swept, does he get off of his back? He didn't show enough in the fight against Rebecca off of his back. Like, there's just a lot of question marks. So in my opinion, it's like, if I had to choose a side, I would choose Hooper because I think it's going to be grappling, and I think he's going to be winning in transitions in the grappling.
So what's the damn Lambo play?
What's that?
People are waiting for the Lambo.
All right, I'm going to go round 2, round 3 for Chase. I think it could even be a KO if he gets a position. But yeah, this is the least confident I could be in a fight. I don't have any confidence in this.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Round 2, round 3, Hooper is fair. I'm obviously on the Fiore side. I just don't like. I know people are making a big deal. Look how big Hooper looks at 55. Oh, he looks great. Oh. I don't think he looks that big. I mean, show me how big he looks. Like, he's putting up one plate, guys, like barely 6 times. Like, is this guy really put up that much muscle on his body? I doubt it, man. He like walks around, he said, at like 180, and this guy can't even fucking put up one plate, like barely 5 times. Like, give me a fucking break. This guy's not putting on any muscle. Sorry. But with that being said, listen, if this fight goes deeper, what is wrong with my camera? If this fight goes deeper, I kind of like, I see a world where, you know, Hooper can have some success. I could see where Hooper can have success deeper in the fight, but like we're not really sure of Fiore's cardio, right? Like, yeah, he got taken down and got mauled by Rebecca, but what does that mean? Like, Rebecca is like a fucking very good wrestler, very heavy on top, completely opposite of what Hooper is. Like, Hooper's not a good wrestler. He's not very heavy on top. So it's that fight is literally meaningless to me as far as this matchup here. Now, when you look back at like Fiore's like career, he hasn't faced really good guys. I think in his professional career, the best guy he's beat is Andre Borges, who actually has some, you know, losses, albeit versus very, very good guys. But he's never been stopped by those guys. And Fiore is the one that subbed him. I do think, actually, I take it back because I think Otto Rodriguez in his first fight, professional fight, subbed him as well, who's also a very good grappler. But looking at his amateur career, you know, he does have 2 good wins against Zabian and Garib, both by submission. Both guys are decent pros. One of them has a really good wrestling background in Garib, and you know, he's the one that took down Garib in that round too. He's the one that subbed Garib. It was a nice transition to armbar where he subbed him, you know. So, like, Hooper, my issue with Hooper in this fight is, one, I think a guy that's weak at 45, right, is going to be weaker at 55. Like, when I say weaker, I mean the guys at 55 are stronger than 45. It's just, it is what it is. And guys like Felipe Colares, who's not even a 45er, this guy fought at 35, okay, is throwing you around in the grappling. That's not a good look, dude. Like, that guy's not a strong guy. Then you go to Steven Peterson, and people are, oh, Steven Peterson, well, he's a good grappler. Yeah, he's a good grappler, but who the fuck is Steven Peterson tossing around? Nobody. He's not like those strong, muscular guys that are just tossing you around at 45. He doesn't have that in his game, but he's fucking chucking Hooper all over the place, you know? Then you look at the, you know, Peter Barrett fight, dude, and like he's losing the entirety of that fight, gets a heel hook in round 3. Okay, is that a very good look? I mean, when you look at this guy's career, it's like, I understand he's young. I understand he can improve, but he really hasn't shown improvement in my opinion. Like, where is the improvement? You know, getting your face beaten by Steve Garcia? Like, he's shown no defense on the feet, absolutely none in that fight. Like, he's not improving, in my opinion, on the feet.
Well, he stood up. He stood up.
What? Yeah, he stood up. He got dropped again, and he stood up, and he got dropped again. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, there is questions with Fiore, but he's the natural 55er. I can almost guarantee you he's going to be the stronger guy. He looked halfway decent in the striking against Rebecca when they were on the feet. And defensively, he's like way more sound than Hooper is on the feet. So let's just say this fight doesn't hit the ground, right? I favor Fiore in a big way, dude. Just literally off defense alone. Like, he's way better defensively than Hooper is. So it's like, I don't know. I could never play Hooper in this spot. I do think he's tough. I do think he's durable. That's why I kind of feel like this fight might hit the scorecards, man. And I think maybe the grappling kind of cancels out here. You know, I think Fiore might be the stronger guy, but technically speaking, Hooper is a lot more like, he has a lot more attacks in his game. So with that being said, Fiore decision is 360. If you want to get a little greasy, hit the split. Split is like crazy, dude, in this fight. It's like 850 or something. I mean, it's possible, dude, like where grappling cancels and maybe, you know, Hooper wins that round 3 because of cardio. But again, we don't know. But I think early it's going to be Fiore, man. I really do. And Maybe if his cardio is not very good, Hooper can drown him late, but I don't know, man. I don't like his decision to go to 55. I don't think this guy's a 55er. I don't care how tall he is. He doesn't have the frame. Like, his body is really slender and slim. And so give me Fiore decision plus 360, and the split on him is plus 1,400.
People haven't talked about the fact that Fiore has that indirect win over GM3, from beating Jay Ellis twice.
Exactly. They forgot about that one. Fiore does not sub Hooper, so he has to get a KO. Yeah, I think it's decision. I don't think it's, it could be KO, but I think it's decision. I don't think he's like some great striker or anything like that. Fiore is, but I think he has more power than Hooper. I'll tell you that. So we'll see. I like him by decision here. We'll see what happens. This is definitely the Twitter war fight where everybody's going at it on Twitter. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 16-8 Ilir Latifi versus the 9-1 Rodrigo Nacimento. I'm fading Latifi here, man. Like, I think the guy's retiring. I think the guy is done. I think the guy was getting outstruck in his last fight against Oleinik. And man, the size advantage is just astronomical. Did you see these guys at face-offs? It is fucking comical how much bigger Nacimento is. He weighed in at 264. He looks huge. I kind of feel like he's going to break Latifi. Latifi gasses pretty bad. I think Nacimento kind of gasses, but he pushes through pretty well. I'm going to go Nacimento round 2, round 3, 700 and 1,100. I think he gets the finish here, man. I don't know if it's KO. I don't know if it's submission. I think it's more than likely KO, but, Latifi is tough. I just think 40 years old, talking about retirement, this is probably his retirement fight. I don't like hearing those things anymore, especially from a 40-year-old. And to be honest, like, he just doesn't do anything, dude. He just doesn't do anything in these fights, man. Getting takedowns, just laying there, not doing shit. So, yeah, man, give me Nacimento round 2, round 3 here.
Yeah, this is another one of those fights where I just, like, if I could pass, I probably would. But yeah, I had two trains of thought. My first train of thought was exactly yours, which is round 2 on Nacimento, round 3 Nacimento, just for the exact same reasons. And then my other thought is end split Ilir points. Like, if Ilir, like, if he actually has enough cardio to get the second takedown or get 2 takedowns, I think it's just basically could be 2 takedowns and he wins 2 rounds. So he's just such a huge weight on top. Like, he's like a rhino. So it's like, he gets you down, you're not getting him off you. And like you said, he doesn't do anything on top. Nacimento's a BJJ dude, so he could play guard and he could just not do anything really. So in my opinion, I think like Latifi definitely could get. I don't think anybody's even attempted a takedown on Nacimento. So I just don't know what he does in that situation. I'll take the other side. I'll go Latifi. I'm not confident in it at all, but I'll take Latifi points plus 400, and then end split at plus 650 is not bad.
I think it's a decent play. Like, there's a world where Latifi just lays there, does nothing but gets takedowns and wins. A shitty decision, but yeah, there's a world that happens. I just think this guy is kind of toast though.
I think he's done too. I kind of think he's done too. It's one of those where you say it and I like yours more than I like mine, but I'll stick with mine.
Yeah. Fight number 5. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 8-1 Orion Koski versus the 6-2 Gilbert Urbina. Tim, kick this one off.
I like Urbina by sub and Urbina by sub in round 1 and 2. I want to really be looking to live bet this fight after I see what's going on. Like, I just think that if you got the early money on Urbina, that good for you. But where it's at right now, I wouldn't play at money line right now. Where it's at, I just would wait and see how the grappling goes early. Urbina's weakness is his defensive grappling and defensive wrestling, and his offensive wrestling is solid. Offensive grappling is solid, but just defensively, he makes a lot of mistakes. Same thing on the feet. Like, I think Urbina's better on the feet. I think he's more processed. I think he's more dangerous. Koski does throw bombs, but I just think it's like overhand right to set up a takedown, pretty much. So I think he's the better Koski brother. He's a little bit more gas, a little bit more process to his game, but I don't really think either one of the Koski brothers is good. I also think that Urbina is going to be fucking giant at this weight class. I didn't see the weight class. I didn't see the weight. I didn't see the. Did they do face-offs yet?
Yeah.
How much bigger is he than Koski?
He is a fairly big, much bigger. I mean, you could go look at the face.
You can see the dude. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He's a bigger dude.
Yeah, I just put my notes. I'm like, he's going to be huge at this weight class. So, I just think that's getting the early grappling going. I think like sub 1, sub 2 for Urbina is a good look.
Yeah, I mean, I love Urbina in this spot. This is another one where, some people are saying like, why are you, betting these low level? Like, no, I think one guy is a lot lower level than the other guy. Like, that's why I'm betting it. And I think one guy has a big advantage. That's why I'm betting it.
Let me interrupt really quick. Anybody that asks you like a low level question of betting a low level or regional fights, they don't understand the game. Like, you're the best at doing that. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not the best.
Down.
I'm not going to take credit for being the best, but I do like low level regional MMA, and I'm really good at it. Hit a couple of really big ones today in ACA, and honestly, the thing is, Urbina worked his way to 170 here. Like, he used to fight at 70, right? The only reason it fought at 85 is because he got called for Ultimate Fighter, and he's like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll go to 85 and fight, right? But it looks like 85 is just, he wasn't strong enough against those guys. Like, the shots from him hurt him a lot more. Like, it just, I don't think it was the right weight class for this guy, even though he's big. When he fought at 70, right, he went to decision many times. And his cardio honestly checks out, dude. Like, his cardio checks out for me. He's got good cardio. Like, I understand everybody's bringing up how this guy has bad cardio because of one fight where he went apeshit early against a Battle, and then he gassed out. Okay, at 85 on short notice, yeah, that can happen. But this guy has shown in other fights that he can go 3 hard rounds of grappling, a lot of grappling, and still look good in the third, right? Koski, he's been injured like a mother, hasn't been able to train. He's talking about how he has a heart problem since he's born, how he got the vaccine and was sick for like 6 months straight for 2 to 3 days a week, where he never ever trained, okay, for 2 to 3 days a week. He could not train at all for 6 months. Then he talks about how in his last 2 fights, in both fights, his arm goes numb mid-fight because he's got a very bad neck injury, right? He's talking about all these injuries, right? Guess what happens, Tim? I said in my space, I'm like, this guy's a walking injury bug right now. He comes in and he can't make weight. That's not a coincidence, dude. This guy is really injured. Like, he's probably not training properly. He went from a good gym and Team Alpha Male to fucking in the boonies. I think he's training at like some UFC gym, like gym. You know those UFC gyms? That's where you're training.
Next to Costco. Right.
Dude, like, he's getting no training partners. Meanwhile, this other guy took 2 years off and literally worked on his body to get to 170. It's like a world of difference between these two guys. And it's even money. Even at even money right now, dude, it's a bargain, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I think the unders in this fight are spectacular. I think the Urbina side is very good. I think he's going to absolutely drown this guy, dude. He's going to drown him. Koski is dangerous early, but he's going to be done come round 2, round 3. I don't think he trained properly. I think he's hurt. And the other thing is, I think Urbina can go 2-3 rounds and still finish. So give me Urbina round 2, round 3. Again, plus 750, plus 1,400. Urbina's going to destroy this guy, in my opinion. He just needs to be careful early, but I think he drowns this guy later. 111 people in here, Tim. Hit that damn like button down below. Otherwise, I am not drinking anymore. With that being said, moving on to fight number 6. It is in the strawweight division. It is a 14-7 Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus the 9-4 Vanessa Demopoulos. And I will kick this one off. I really don't like this spot here, to be honest. Why is my camera doing this shit? I don't get this. But there's only one thing that a little bit sticks out. It's the Vanessa Demopoulos sub. It's plus 500. I just feel like, her grappling is not good, and she moved to like elevation, which is kind of weird from Fight Ready. Not a good move, in my opinion. She's with Mark Montoya, they're more known for striking and stuff. But she did land, a couple of takedowns against Maria Oliveira, who probably has the worst takedown defense. But Kowalkiewicz might just grapple, like initiate grappling. She's 37 years old, and I kind of feel like, if this fight hits the ground, Themba might get a sub, man. It's plus 500. That's the only reason I kind of like it. I think it's a little wide here. So give me Demopoulos plus 500 by submission. It's on FanDuel if you guys want it. What do you got here?
Same one. Sub. If you like to get greasy, sub 2, sub 3, plus 1,700, plus 2,500. I think like the sub at plus 500 just makes no sense to me for this line. Like it's closely lined fight. I just don't see like a lot of. I'm not saying that she can't win a decision against Karolina, but like probably her win condition is probably a bonk or a take, like some type of grappling situation where she subs her. Like I just think it should be probably like 350-ish, something like that, 300, and you're getting pretty good number at plus 500 for that. So banana peel moments, any mistake grappling from Karolina, like, yeah, I think KK could make a mistake and get armbarred here very simply. Yeah, it's just I kind of would lean like KK wins a decision in this fight, but it's not. That's like shit. So I'm gonna go the plus 500. 1,700 on sub 2s, plus 2,500 sub 3.
Yeah, I'm not really a Vanessa Demopoulos fan, honestly. I don't like this chick. I think they robbed Jinyu Fry in that fight.
I do think her wrestling has gotten better every fight.
Yeah, but she left. She left Fight Ready. It got better at Fight Ready, and she decided to leave.
I don't know if it's necessarily like I think she got better there, and I think the game plans helped her out as well. But I just think like just technically speaking, like what she's doing there, I don't think that if she learned something and actually learned the skill there, I don't think that it's something that she loses by going to another camp. Like I think that like if she understands,
but is it going to improve?
Yeah, I think it's just a question of me, like just teaching a skill. It's just like if you get from that second stage of learning something to the third, it's just a question of the person doing the reps. And if they understand what the reps are and what they're supposed to do, it's just doing the reps, and then they can get to that fourth stage where it's unconscious.
Now, do you think that's Sean Orr? Because he usually has like his little sketchy guy,
Yeah, we don't know. Where's the rainbow?
I don't know. I think this is an impersonator, to be honest. I don't think this is Sean Orr. I don't see his little ugly looking pencil guy as his logo. So I don't know. Bunch of G's in the chat. Let's go to screen and 2 on the screen. Oh, thank you very much, Uncle Weezy. I'm halfway drunk here, and so is my camera, like Victor De Jesus says. Yeah, let's move on here. Fight number 7. It is in a lightweight division. It is the 9-2 Mahashate versus the 6-3 Vyacheslav Borashev. What do you have here, Tim?
All right. I'm kind of in an island on this one. On the Battle of Slavashate, as I call it. I'm going to go with Slava by points at plus 420. I think I'll go into some other ones later on after I hear yours. But, like, I just think that I think that this fight could be both dudes. I think if there's like a durability issue that I would be more concerned with, I think it's on Slava than Mahashate. I think he's shown that he can take some pretty big shots and keep going. He can be rocked. So like, I'm not saying that it's like a KO is out of the question. Obviously it's like the shortest line out of all of the props for Slava. But I think that I don't know that it should be like plus 150 and then plus 420 on decision. So you have a guy who's never been, neither one of these guys has been finished. It actually looks like in more of the fights that I've seen, it actually looks like Slava gets hurt more than Mahashate does. So I don't know, man. I think that this fight going the distance and Slava winning like either a clear decision that he's just a better striker, or he outvolumes him and then takes some big shots and it's a split. Like either one of those things I think is very, very live here. I don't see very much success grappling for Mahashate. I don't see any success for Slava. I know that there's people that are saying like Mahashate can't grapple in this fight, but like anybody could grapple Slava. Like it's just a question of, can you hold him down? I don't think like it's not a question of getting him down. It's a question of like he'll get up if you're not sufficient enough in the grappling to keep him there. So I don't think Mahashate is good enough to keep him there. He might be good enough to take him down, but I just don't think that it's like he's going to do that. That's going to be his plan proactively in the fight. So I think it's going to be 15 minutes of them standing. And I think over the 15 minutes, I think better striker, more processed. Both guys have shown durability, never been finished by KO. Nobody's probably going to grapple and sub the other. So I think this fight goes, and I think give me the favorite to win the decision at plus 420.
Guess what, Tim? I have a bet on fight doesn't start round 3.
Okay.
I got it at plus 106. I kind of think it's like a slang 'em and bang 'em type of fight. But I kind of am going back on that. Like all week, when I bet it earlier, like a couple days ago, now the more I look at it, man, the more I think this fight hits the scorecards, honestly. And split decision is plus 800, dude. That's where I'm heading, man. That's where I'm going, to be honest. Split decisions plus 800, dude. And I bet it at plus 106. Fight doesn't start round 3. But the thing is, there's two things. Mahashate can take a punch from hell. He's got like a crazy good chin. Slava can't take a punch from hell, but he seems to like survive somehow. He gets rocked in every fucking fight, but somehow survives, right? So the thing that I see here is that this is probably going to be a 15-minute striking match. One guy is longer. One guy is like younger. He throws like knees. He throws more of like the explosive stuff, while the other guy is a lot more technical in Slava. Now, I think Slava can hurt him to the body because he's got really nasty like body shots, but also could see a world where Mahashate like lands some flying knee or something, or some kicks and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like this fight might be a back and forth fight, man. It might be close here. Split decision is plus 800. I took a shot on it, honestly. I think if it hits scorecards, it's not going to be one-way traffic, in my opinion. I think it's going to be close. And yes, I do favor Slava, technically speaking, but I also feel like Mahashate like just comes forward, dude, and he just like you watch his Dana White Contender Series, he was getting hit with bombs, and he still kept coming forward, throwing bombs himself. So I kind of like his cardio. He's very young, so he's going to be the way younger guy. I think he's going to have the better cardio. He's the more durable guy here. So split decision plus 800. I don't know, man. I think that's not a terrible look in this fight, even though I do have fight doesn't start round 3. I think it might have been a mistake on my part, but I got a good number, and it's plus 106. I think it's a good number based on how the over-unders look. But I still think
it's definitely a good hedge. It's a good hedge if you play those.
I still might like get out of my bet. I'm not sure, or I can bet like something else to kind of like hedge out in a different way, but we'll see. Hey, he says it's Sean Orr. Now he's on his real account. He was on his phone account. Okay. So it's Sean Orr. Dixon says Demopolis weight miss interpretation. Not much interpretation for me. I don't honestly these weight misses and stuff, guys. Don't look too much into them unless you know there was something going on prior. Like if this guy's injured, okay, weight miss makes sense. Now you're looking at something because Koski's weight miss to me is a lot more of a red flag because I knew this guy was injured coming into this fight. Like he said it, right? Now look at last week, Morono. He missed weight. I mean, not missed weight. He looked like absolute dog shit on the scales. What does he do? Come out and win by submission. You know, so it's like, I don't want to don't look at too much into this weight stuff. People always talk about him on Twitter and stuff. I think people overinterpret. You can't tell body language. You can't tell how good guys rehydrate. So forget about that. I don't know. I don't honestly. My answer is I don't know. Do you have anything on that, Tim?
No, not at all. Doesn't phase me. I agree with you that it's situational. You got to look at it. But this one doesn't phase me with the mouth.
TNT says even if you do like she's not. Why is she not 100% though? Elaborate on that. Because she missed weight. That doesn't mean she's not 100%. So. Might have been tough weight cut. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that means she's not 100%. Vanessa Camp doesn't matter because she's uncoachable anyway. Yeah, it's possible too. That's Tim, do you think Slava lands over 100 significant strikes if it goes to decision?
Probably pretty close, yeah.
All right, there you go. There's your answer. Narco, but they looked almost the same at face-offs. Very minimal size difference. Oh, between Mahashate? Yeah, I don't think there was much size difference. I just think he has the longer limbs, Mahashate. He's got like long legs, long arms. But yeah, he was a little bit bigger, maybe like an inch. Not much bigger. Yeah, Mahashate is not much bigger. But he throws more of the flying knees and stuff like that. Just out of jiu-jitsu, says my man Liam, picks fights. Here's a drink. That's for my friend Liam. Crush the card, fellas. He said, I love this guy. He's always got good vibes. I like it. Nick Alexander says, we need live verification. It's the real Sean Orr. Trust me, it is. I took a tiny poke on either sub at plus 1100. Both give up takedowns all the time. Both liable to get hurt. Cardio dynamics, Slava nearly submitted regionally. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't mind that look. Like Mahashate, like I said, he's got long limbs, man. He might sneak something in. You never know. But we'll see. Let's move on, Tim. What shall you say? Fight number 8. It is in the lightweight division. It is a 21-18 Michael Johnson versus the 17-5 Diego Ferreira. So this one I kind of went back and forth. This is another one where I know a lot of people like under in this fight. I don't, honestly. I think this fight goes to decision more. Like, I know people have been talking about like Ferreira being knocked out last 2 fights, and yeah, he's been knocked out the last 2 fights. One of them was an injury, like I don't know what the fuck he hurt, his rib, and the other one against Gregor Gillespie was a gas job. Like he was completely done. He was gassed. It's not really a knockout. It wasn't like something like he got hurt with, in his chin or something. He's been knocked out once to me in reality, and that was against Dustin Poirier years ago. I think the guy is very durable. I think he's tough, but he's 38 years old. I think, is he 38 now? Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, he's 38 years old. He's coming off a 1.5 year layoff, almost 2. Okay. He's talking about how he's been injured and how he's been not fighting because he's training his guys at the gym because he has his own gym. I don't know how much is left in the gas tank, but obviously there's a big grappling edge here for him if the fight hits the ground, right? It's huge. Can he get the fight to the ground? That's the question. And if he can't, the thing to me is if he can't, I don't think it's like some one-sided affair for Michael Johnson. Honestly, it's not, because Ferreira pressures forward. He throws kicks, and Michael Johnson the whole time has to be wary of the takedown against this guy, because if he gets the fight to the ground, dude, it's going to be very dangerous for Michael Johnson. So he's got that in the back of his mind while he's striking. He can't overcommit. He's got to be careful. So it's going to make the striking open for Diego Ferreira. So I think on the feet, yeah, technically speaking, Michael Johnson's world's better. And also, Diego Ferreira, like, when facing southpaws, he just doesn't see the left hand, dude. The straight left hand, he just does not see. Dariush landed over and over on him. Poirier put him out with it. You know, he just doesn't see that. Pettis was landing on him from southpaw. So he doesn't see that punch well, and Michael Johnson can land that punch. I don't know if he's going to be able to knock out, though, Ferreira. I think Ferreira is tough. But I think this fight probably stays standing, man. I like Michael Johnson's defense. I like what he's been doing lately. Michael Johnson by decision, plus 350. And if you want to get greasy, his split decision is, what is it? No, fight to end in split is 800. I like that. I like that look because I think this fight hits the scorecards, honestly. And I think it's closer than people think, even if it's standing. I don't think, just because it's standing, I don't think it's one-way traffic, honestly. So, plus 350 Johnson decision, split is 800. You know, you pick and choose and kind of work that out. But I like this fight to hit the scorecards. So what do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, man, I think it's a hot take. I like it on the durability on CDF. I like it. I think that he's like the thing with CDF for me is like, which one are we getting? You know, like which version? And you know, I had one of my favorite bets. Like that was one of my favorite fights of all time was the Gregor Gillespie. Like that's just like. I just think that that's like one of the best battles grappling wise, and the transitions and how ferocious the tempo was. It was just so awesome to watch that fight again. And I just think that like if it's a question in my mind if like, does he come out that crazy again? Because if he comes out like that and he just says like, I'm just small, I'm 38. Let's see what you do. Small cage. I'm going to bum rush you and see if I can get you down. There are fights. He doesn't do it often. Like I think there's only 3 fights out of his 13 in UFC where he's proactively grappling and trying to get takedowns. Like I think there's only like 3, maybe 4. And so but the fights that he does, like the Gillespie fight, like there's no way that you can tell me like, if that's his mindset in this fight, like that sub and sub 1 don't look like fucking awesome lines. Like, so I'm going to go on that route. I think like I think he goes full rabies for some reason and goes the way that he should. I like your take too, that if he doesn't, that I totally agree that like, it seems like the narrative all week is that if this fight is standing, that he has no chance. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, I think that, who did he fight the last fight? He was doing okay. Who was his last? Who was his last?
Who are you talking about?
Gamrot. Like he was hurting Gamrot on the feet.
Yeah, I mean he's good on the feet.
I don't think
people make him out.
Yeah, I don't think that he's dead. I don't think he's like totally dead on the feet. Where it's like, oh man, if he doesn't get it. But I do think that Johnson's dead on the ground. So
dude,
like
Jamie Mullarkey was like hanging there with Michael Johnson.
Exactly my point. Exactly. As he gets tired too, it's like he's not the same in 2-3 as he is in like end of 2 and 3 as he is in 1 and 2. So I think like if you're on Johnson KO, I think it's more 1 or 2 as well. I don't think like if this gets out of the second half of the fight, I'd be surprised if he gets him out there. And I think that you'd be very live on your bets.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with you. I think I kind of see more finishing.
I agree with Weezy. I agree with Weezy's statement there.
Yeah. I see more finishing ability on CDF side, to be honest. Like I think he can hurt him standing. And he could finish on the ground. Like Johnson, he can only finish on standing, right? And I don't even know if that's like a big, like I don't think that's very big, dude. Like Michael Johnson, okay, he's got decent power, but like he's not like that guy that can just put you out with one shot. Usually it's just not him. Like, let's go back and look. How many knockouts? Like, okay, Alan Patrick when he's over the hill, Dustin Poirier early on, Gleison Tebow, and Danny Castillo. I'm sorry, and Edward whoever in his very first. Like, he doesn't have many knockouts. He's technically good. I don't think he has like that one punch power, you know. And I think CDF is tough as shit, but there's a lot of red flags, dude. Injuries, 38, long layoff. He has his own gym. He's concentrating on his fighters. I don't like hearing all that. But he's still a tough motherfucker, and he's not someone you could just kind of say, oh, yeah, MJ's just going to come in here and roll. I doubt it. I think this fight is close. I don't have a take on money line either side, but I think this fight might hit scorecards, and I know a lot of people are on unders on this fight. And
yeah.
they might get burned, honestly. I have a feeling that they might get burned on this fight because I know it's a binary fight like people say, but it's not so binary because I think Diego can hang with him on the feet. So I don't know how binary that is, you know? Sean says Diego's a son of a bitch. Guy's a motor, and Johnson's flopping all over the cage. If he gets clipped and see if it gets on top, it's pretty much over, close in degree. Yeah. Definitely has more finish potential, in my opinion. I mean, when you have that big of an edge on the ground, you're definitely have more finishing ability. Moving on, fight number 9. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 16-6 Andre Fialio versus the 15-6 Joaquin Buckley. Tim, what do you got here?
I just think the fight goes, one of a couple ways. I think Buckley is more athletic. Coming down to 170, he looked great on the scales. He looks like he's just a ripped beast, but obviously coming down on scales can affect people's cardio as well as their chin. This dude never had a really good chin in the first place. I think his durability and Fialio's durability are like similar. Like, I don't think that either one of them is great defensively and respond, like how they respond and react to getting hit. I think the cardio edge is on Buckley. So I feel like, I don't know, man. I just think I was talking with VB about this fight. Like, I just think Buckley should be the favorite. I don't think that the line is right. I think it's a little bit wide, but I think he is the better fighter. He's got more paths to win. There is no plan B for Fialio if he doesn't get what he wants to get going. But like KO1 Fialio seems to be a little bit stupid for what, what his paths usually are. I think that's what he normally does. He throws straight shots. But if you told me Buckley lasts, or even Buckley takes like the approach that, he took just grappling and trying to like cage push the first round, it'd be super smart for him to cage push Fialio and like just to stay away from him and tire out his arms, hold him for a round, and then to put it on him in the second round. Because that's just like, to me, that's like a simple plan that hasn't not worked against Fialio. So if you got KO1 on Fialio or KO2 on Buckley, either one is fine by me.
I think this is bodybuilder 2023 fight of the year. Like, both these guys are fucking rocked up. Fialio looks rocked up. I mean, Buckley looks incredible for 170. He made weight really easily. Looked really good actually on the scales. The thing I see here is, honestly, Buckley just has more durability for me. Like, he just does. Like, he has more dog in him, in my opinion. He has more durability in him. Fialio just, lately it just feels like every single one of his opponents is hurting him. Like, Baeza hurt him, Cameron Van Camp hurt him, Jake Matthews put him away, Salikov put him away. It's like, it's kind of a reoccurring theme with him. And when you start getting hurt and then knocked out, and now you're facing Buckley, who's a big hitter too, especially probably at 170, dude. Like, I just think Buckley's probably going to knock this guy out. I'm just not sure when. The thing is, Fialio's dangerous. He's got a very nasty check left hook, and he has very good uppercuts, man. Buckley's got to really be careful for those. I think Buckley's going to be faster, man. Honestly, even though he's dropping from 85, I think he's the much more athletic guy. I think he's going to be the faster guy here, even though it's at 70.
That's the part that scares me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think Buckley probably lands on him early, man. And round 1 is only 270, and round 2 is 550. But I honestly don't see this fight hitting round 3, man. One of these guys is going to get KO'd. But I'm going to rely on the durability of one guy that I think is a little better. The only thing that scares me is that he's going down to 70. So I know, like, durability might wane at 70. I don't know. But
it's not only the durability, but it's like you said. It's like usually he has like that up a weight class. That's like his edge. Like, he's quicker, he's got speed, he can get, like, his style of punching is he throws wide winging shots, and he comes in quick and out quick, and that's why he's so susceptible to being hit. And it's like, dude, this is like exactly what Fialio draws up. So that's like it's really tough. Like, this is a good. I think it's a good matchup for the first round for Fialio. Like, that to me is like, I think he's really, really live in round one.
Guys, the bottle's done. Look at this. I drink the whole fucking bottle. Yeah, man. I don't know. This is probably gonna hit me later, this sake, but Cameron says, "Hey, Narco, just tuned in after my MBA graduation. Let's hit a big lotto so I can pay off my student loans. Congratulations, my friend, first off. And two, no, go get a job because you got your MBA and pay off your loans that way. Fuck hitting the big lotto, but we'll try to do it for you." Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just, one guy's a little more durable. That's the thing here, and that's why I'm favoring kind of that side. Sake's an acquired taste. I tried it, and it's too much for me. I couldn't finish my drink. Rice wine. Yeah, it's rice wine. Sake only tastes good with sushi. Yeah, you got to pay a little more, and sake is delicious. Yeah, exactly. That's underrated at home drink, in my opinion. Very refreshing. See? Sean knows how I do it. Sean knows how I do it. Now the whole chat is talking about sake instead of Fialio. Fialio chin issue, not as overblown as everyone is saying. He ate clean shots to the temple, straight jaw, and Matthews fight before the finals. Yeah, but Tyler, like, he's getting hurt in a lot of, like, okay, the one shot from Van Camp had him fucking doing the chicken dance, man. Like, come on. Like, this guy's chin is definitely a liability. I don't care. And the other thing you got to mention is, how many people have Jake Matthews knocked out? Can you remind me? Huh? No, let him remind me how many people Jake Matthews has knocked out in his career. Not many, dude. I'm telling you. So it's a bad look, in my opinion, for him. No, I'm not throwing up on stream, dude. I don't drink like that. Come on. Quit that. Whiskey overall says Wiz does. What's up, my boy? Wiz does in the house. All right. Let's move on here. We're blabbing too much. Fight number 10. It is in the strawweight division at a catchweight of 120. It is the 12-7 Emily Ducote versus the 9-3 Lupita Godonez. I will kick this one off, Tim. And this one is a surprising one, my friend. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
I am.
Because I don't want you to fall down off your chair. You're sitting strapped in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ducote by submission plus 1,100. You know why, Tim?
Why?
Because I think Ducote is going to piece up Godonez on the feet. Godonez is going to shoot takedowns, and when maybe she lands one or two, but on the ground, off her back, honestly, Ducote is pretty damn good, dude. She throws up a lot of submissions, and she's been so close so many times in those submissions. And I think she has a couple, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yep. I don't want to talk about it. 1, 2, 3. She has an arm bar off her back. That's one. Yeah, she's got one off her back. But, dude, she's dangerous. She's throwing so many submissions off her back. And honestly, Godonez is not the best when it comes to submission grappling. I just feel like Ducote is the better BJJ artist here. She's a black belt. It's plus 1,100 for submission. I could even see a club and sub where she hurts her. She shoots some fucking panic. And the other thing is Ducote hits hard on the feet. I don't think she's not like a big hitter on the feet. She throws hard, man. She lands hard. Godonez taking this on short notice. Godonez has like the worst optics when it comes to bleeding. She bleeds every single fight from the nose. Her nose, something's wrong with it. So I like the Ducote side in general, the money line, but submission plus 1,100. Let's throw a little sprinkle on it, Tim. What do you got here?
Yeah, I flipped on this side at pre-fight, pre-tape. I was on the the loopy side, just thinking that she would be able to get the grappling going. And then all you have to do is watch tape on loopy. And you know that it just depends on what side of the bed she wakes up on now. So she used to be like one of the most reliable grapplers and wrestlers, and now she isn't. I think also to support your submission claim, like I think she was in a Gilly versus Hill she defended it with a Gilly. She almost had her. Like I think that also stunted her from trying to wrestle more in that fight because of how easy it was for her to actually get there. And that's Angela Hill doing that. So I don't hate you on that pick, but I wouldn't be myself if I didn't try at least one ends by split. So I got a couple here. But ends by split, and this one's plus 380. Ducote by points, Ducote by split 10-1. I really like the Ducote by split 10-1. If Loopy gets some grappling going and gets some top position in one of the rounds or two of the rounds, and then loses the stand up, I think it could be very, very close. You hit the nail on the head too. Like if this fight goes and it's a decision, and Loopy has more stand-up success than you think she has. Like she just doesn't take damage. Like I was talking with VB about the same thing. Like her face is always pink. Her nose is always bleeding. She just does not take damage well. So in these fights where she could be hitting the person as much as she's getting hit, she just doesn't look like it. So I really think that does matter. And I feel like, Loopy's path is her path to winning is that she's got to really do well, stand up, and not get her leg kicked off, which is definitely a possibility. That could stunt her wrestling ability as well, and staying away from the 1-2s. I just think it's going to be pretty close standing. I think Ducote does have more of an advantage standing. I think she's more processed. I think her kicks are better. So Loopy needs to wrestle a lot. Loopy needs to get some top time and not get and stay safe. And I'm not sure that she can do that for 3 rounds straight. I think she might do that in the first round. And then I think 2 and 3, it starts to get harder to do that. So give me end split, Ducote split 10-1, Ducote points plus 280. I think those are solid.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen as well. I think fight is probably close. I don't know if Godonia is going to easily take down Ducote. Ducote showed very good takedown defense against Murata. And she has very good wrestling, Murata, like really good wrestling. And she was showing very good takedown defense. And the other thing is,
she sweeps too. She sweeps really well. Like she against the Lee McFarland fight, she got taken down, but she flipped her off of her twice. Like it was nothing.
She's got good BJJ, man. She's a black belt. She's not bad.
She's not bad in those spots. So it's not like a lock. It's not a lock that Loopy can just hold her down in those positions.
I just think she's so much better than Loopy on the feet, though. Like striking. Like I know people are like, oh, Angela Hill beat her, and
I just don't. That's where I don't know, because like if the problems that she was presented and the problems that I've seen before with Ducote is like, if Loopy isn't known to come forward like crazy and just and do the same type of shots. That's the thing. Like if you can keep her on her back foot, Ducote can be hit. Like she's much better if she's on her front foot. She kicks better, and she throws her right hand significantly more powerfully. If she's on her back foot, like she doesn't do anything. Like that's where I think
I don't want to say she doesn't do anything, because look at the Angela Hill fight. She was on her back foot for most of that fight. She still threw almost 200 strikes, dude. She landed like almost 100 in that fight. Like, it's not like people are always referring to that fight like she completely got rolled. I don't think she got completely rolled in that fight. You know where I think the huge edge for Hill was in the clinch, dude.
Yeah.
She really messed her up with the knees in the clinch, like bad. Like you could see like a couple of those knees were hurting Ducote. And that's where I think that the edge was there. Like, I don't see that with Loopy in the clinch. Like, that's not going to happen here. And I think Sean makes a good point here. I don't think she's a really bad nail, dude. She really is a bad nail. And you could even see it in her last fight. Like, when Calvillo was landing on her come forward, like, Loopy was lost, dude. Like, she didn't know what the fuck to do.
She just got wrapped up.
And I think Ducote is a much better striker than Calvillo, in my opinion. And she has more power. Ducote does. So we'll see. I'm on a Ducote side. Godinez on short notice. No for me, especially at Juice. Moving on, fight number 11. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 12-3 Edmund Shabazian versus the 10-2 Anthony Hernandez. What do you have here, Tim?
Fluffy round 2, round 3. Don't get overcomplicated. Withstand, like I'm not going to bet Fluffy pre. I'm just going to wait until round 1 is going, see if he has any struggles whatsoever, and then hit it hard. I think that Edmund is tougher to grapple in round 1. He did well in fights against really good, strong dudes in round 1. And I think that as his cardio goes, so does his game. There's no way to know that his cardio is better. But like Daz says, Edmund round 1, that's his path. Absolutely. So anybody that's on Edmund, I would take him round 1 KO and hope that he goes for what he normally does. Because like if he doesn't, if it's round 2, round 3, I would be really shocked if he wins the fight. Or if it goes to decision, utterly shocked if he wins the fight. So like there's just he's got a path, and it's in the first 5 minutes. And I think that outside of that, I think he gets broken. I wouldn't be shocked if Fluffy wins a decision either and he survives, because Hermansson wasn't able to finish him in positions where he usually would, and he tried to stay a little bit safer for some reason, and Brunson finished him in the exact same positions. So it's just a question of like, what is the defense from Edmund at that point? Because that Fluffy's gonna, like, the outlier is not Fluffy's gonna go. I'd be shocked if Fluffy doesn't fucking go ape shit like he always does. So if he gets into good positions in round 2, round 3, he will do everything he can to finish him, and I think that those are extremely live.
Yeah, I mean, listen, is it coincidence that the 3 guys that are grapplers, okay, and Imavov is not the best grappler, but he grapples, and that's how he won that fight. But is it coincidence that the 3 guys that can grapple, all almost basically stopped Edmund Shabazian? Like, even in that Hermansson fight, like, it was so close to being stopped, right? Is it coincidence Darren Brunson finished him in round 3? Is it coincidence that fucking Imavov finished him on the ground in round 2? Is it coincidence that Hermansson almost finished him in round 3? And now he's facing a guy that has better cardio than all 3 of those guys put together. And he's going to keep coming, and he's going to push the grappling. Like, round 2, round 3 in this spot, like, honestly, it might not hit. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I'm playing it. I'm playing it pretty big, Tim. I'm playing round 2, round 3, and I'm playing round 2, round 3 KO, because I think he's going to ground and pound him. I think Shabazian is one of those guys that when you watch his fights, he's not really giving up his neck. He'd rather just take the fucking ground and pound, I guess. And I think he's going to oblige. Hernandez can give good ground and pound. Like, he's going to give it to you with elbows and stuff on top. And, is Edmund dangerous early? Yeah, he's dangerous early, but I do think Fluffy's tough, man. Like, I don't think Fluffy's easy to get out of there. Yeah, he got, he was taken out of there by fucking Kevin Holland with a knee to the body, and people are saying, oh, well, he's soft to the body. I don't know. Is he soft to the body, or did that land perfectly? Like, I don't really know. He looks like a tough guy to me when surviving Rodolfo Vieira on top like that. You have to be pretty fucking tough, man. And I like the dog in him. I like the relentlessness. Yeah. Of him.
Brought to you by Saki, guys. Brought to you by Saki.
Yeah, it's the Saki. And I mean, how could you not like cardio is like so key in MMA, man. If you have grappling, relentless grappling, and cardio, dude, it's an easy bet to bet round 2, round 3 on this guy. What did Edmund Shabazian answer against fucking Dalcha? Anything? What the fuck did he answer? What does Dalcha have to offer him? Nothing. Just stand there and wing big punches on the feet.
He could be grappling. He could be one of the only people that has worse cardio than him.
Yeah, and he's like terrible cardio. So what did that really answer? And honestly, I swear I'm not lying. I went back and watched that fight really close. And go back and look at round 2 and tell me that fucking Edmund Shabazian is not gassing. Look at his mouth. He's like this. He's breathing through his mouth though, like he's tired. He's fucking tired in that fight. And there was literally no resistance really. So it's like against Hernandez, bro, this guy's gonna keep fucking coming, man. And if you don't get him out of there early, he's gonna absolutely drown Shabazian here. Round 2, round 3, 575 and 850. It's low, right? But Tim, hear me out. KO round 2 is 1,800 and KO round 3 is 2,600. I think that's how he gets him out of there. Yeah, give me round 2, round 3 KO here for Shabazian. I mean, for Hernandez. Moving on. We are moving on to the main event of the night, guys. 117 of you still in here. Please hit that like. Please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask from you guys. And Tim, with that being said, we will go to our main event. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 12-3 Mackenzie Dern versus the 15-12 Angela Hill. I don't know which way to fucking go with this fight. How I'm going to go, I know which way I'm going to go. Split decision, Tim. Plus 500. That's how I'm going to go. I have no idea if this fight's going to hit the ground or not. I have no idea if Dern is going to sub or if it hits the ground. What I do have an idea is it's probably going to play close. She might get a takedown or two. I don't know if she's going to finish Hill. Hill is a vet. She knows how to defend. On the feet, obviously, it's Hill all day. I know Dern has had a lot of problems and all this other nonsense going on in her life, divorce, this and that. All the signs point to Hill. I think it's going to be closer. I'm going to go split decision, man. Plus 500 either way. Not a big confidence in this fight. What do you got here? I don't have a good read.
Yeah, you know what? I can kind of think that like taking the fight ends in round 3, 4, or 5 is not a bad look. Like, I don't know. I do think it's possible that a sub 1, sub 2 for Dern is very, very valuable, obviously. But I don't know, man. It's not like one of her best rounds in her last fight. Obviously, she does gas a little bit, but she got a 10-8 on, I can't remember who, in was Jan, right? Yeah, she against Jan. It's round 5. Like, so there's not it's possible that either one of these can finish later. And I just get a feeling for it. It's nothing like, there's nothing predictive at all that I'm feeling on it. It's just like, I definitely could see, like, I love the KO 3, 4, 5 as well for Hill, just like as a small stab on those are like humongous lines. If you wanted to do the combo is plus 1,900, but they're all like 40 and 50 to 1 for each round. But just, I don't know. I feel like for Hill, if her fight goes the way that she wants it to go and she's keeping Dern off of her, she's going to piece the shit out of her on the feet. Like, and she's going to piece her up when she comes in the clinch, and she's going to piece her up when she doesn't get her down. And I do feel like Dern is not taking damage well in the recent fights. She has been durable, but she just doesn't take damage well. She's been dropped. And I feel like that's definitely possible here. It's like plus 900 or plus 950 for her KO. So I think it would be later. I think it'd be 3, 4, 5. So fight ends 3, 4, 5. And if you want to get greasy, take a shot on Hill 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. What is 3, 4, 5, 5 end? What is it?
It's 10 to 1, 14 to 1, and then 16 to 1 for 5. But they didn't have 16. They only had
just in general, right? In general, right?
Like just for just like general, like either fighter is.
Yeah. Where is that? FanDuel?
That's FanDuel has 3 and 4, and then DraftKings had 5. FanDuel locked up round 5.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, there's a world that happens. I think more on the Mackenzie Dern side, but yeah, I could see Hill maybe accumulating shots on Dern. If she's not getting takedowns, I can see her get discouraged and basically maybe finishing her late. But yeah, I agree with you in a way here. That being said, guys, all 12 fights are done. We went through all 12. Now we will give you our Lambo parlays. Tim, do you want me to start? Do you want to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me start. I have 2 of them today, Tim.
Nice.
Lambo Parlay 1. It is Hernandez ITD Silva by knockout specifically. Urbina, ITD. And Buckley, ITD, is 44-1, Tim.
What is the second one you said?
Silva by knockout.
Okay.
Natalia Silva. Okay? Now, we're going to get to the crazy one now. Because we always have to get crazy. It's Urbina by knockout, Hernandez by knockout, and Mahashate by knockout. 178-1 there, Tim. Those are my two Lambo parlays. If we hit that second one, Cameron can pay off his student loan. What do you got here, Tim?
There it is. I got Silva KO, Slava points, and Fluffy sub is 58-1. But I think I'm going to change that to ITD, and it changes it to like 36-1.
Wait,
so
say it. Silva what?
I'm going to change it. It's going to be Fluffy ITD, Slava by points, and Silva by KO, and it's like 36 or 38-1, something like that. And then if you wanted to add either Goremba by sub or Urbina by sub, it goes to like 214 or 298-1, just as a four-legger. It doesn't like if you take either one of them.
How much does it go to?
It goes to 214-1 if you added Goremba by sub as a four-legger, and if you added Urbina by sub as a four-legger, it would be 298. But that's with sub, so it's actually going to go to like 100-1.
Yeah. I got it. All right. Yeah. That's it, gentlemen. We gave you 4 fucking Lambo parlays instead of 2. And we gave you a bunch of Lambo picks. So hopefully it goes well. I don't know. I think I have some decent reads on this card. We'll see tomorrow. You never know with MMA, but I'm feeling good this week. Hopefully it translates in my bank account or my betting account, but we'll see. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us on a Friday. 108 of you still in here. Tim, one last thing. What do you have going on? Do you have a space with Sean tomorrow? Because I know
we got Twitter Spaces. 105 Central Standard Time with Sean Orr, and then we'll do the full breakdown on the full card. And
are you guys breaking down the 2024 presidential election as well? Because Sean loves politics.
I'm going to leave it up to him on that one.
All right. I'll only be there if you guys break that down. I want to see what he thinks about Hillary going up against Biden. Who does he favor? But yeah, guys, 105 of you still in here. Tomorrow, I will go live for the fight card, live spaces, live betting. It's been incredible last week. Actually saved me last week, dude. I still lost like 300, but man, that live betting saved my ass. So yeah, guys, one final thing. Hit that like button before we get out of here, and let's fucking cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 73. See you guys tomorrow on Spaces. Take care, and thank you for hanging out.